Welcome back to Faith It Till You Make It, where faith meets entrepreneurship and business. I am so excited because we're in the first week of the new year, which means a lot of you are ready to hit the ground running with your business ideas, your content creator ideas, or maybe you're ready to boss up and move within your company into a new position, a higher role, whatever it is. Today's topic is really going to hone in on the steps that you need to do to prepare that, because a lot of times we want to hit the ground running and we don't think about everything that goes into the big decision that we're making to make this shift. And this year, I feel like a lot of people are making a shift within their business, whether it's to continue to grow, but now growing at a new exponential level, or it's completely getting out of their 9 to 5 and moving to a role where they're building, where they want to build generational wealth or legacy through entrepreneurship. So today we're going to talk about the 3 P's of that shift, that 3 P's of starting a business, 3 P's of becoming an entrepreneur or becoming a content creator, which for me, you already know, if we're talking about faith, that secret sauce is prayer. So the first P is to pray. And the reason why I say this is because you want to pray to soften your heart towards God's voice and his leading, because sometimes we can be so excited about what we want to branch off and do that we don't even know if it's exactly what we're supposed to be doing in that season of our life and at that exact time. And so the most important part that you're going to play in this is to pray first. Pray, get on your knees, ask God, is this what I should be doing? And I will say this, social media will try to tell you, no, God, you're not waiting on God, God's waiting on you. That may be the case for some people, but I say before you make any big move, any big shift, you have to pray first. And then also you want to pray against any hindrances. And if you got some unforgiveness on your heart towards somebody, you want to pray against that, because you don't want nothing to stop the shift in the move that you are about to make. And so you want to pray against anything that could come against what you're about to begin and what you're about to embark on in this new journey. And so you also want to pray for guidance and ears that hear clearly and a mind that has patience, because God may not tell you yes tomorrow. He could tell you yes within 30 seconds, but he may tell you yes in 30 days. Regardless, the first P and the first move you need to make is to pray. Because if you have an idea of starting a multi-billion-dollar drop shipping company, that's great. You can make some great money. But guess what? If it's not the season and the time for you to do that, you may be doing it in vain, because now you're not going to have the Lord's backing, because you're not doing it when he's asked you to do it. And so I just want everyone to keep in mind that prayer is one of the most powerful resources we have. Being people of faith is we can get the answers right from the source. And so that's the first P. We're going to get here in this new year. And what we're going to do, we're going to pray. We're going to make sure everything we're trying to do is going to lead us to where we are ultimately want to be, and ultimately where God wants us to be. And so the second one is plan. Now, I will be the first one to say a lot of times I have such great ideas, but I don't plan them out. Sometimes I just run and I'm like, oh, that's a good business name. Let me run and go buy the domain. And I have so many domains just wasted money on because I didn't do anything with those. I didn't think further. I didn't plan it out. Now, there are some times where God will give you an immediate idea. And within that immediate idea, you do need to hit the ground running and go do what he just told you to do. But there are, for majority of the time, we're going to have to sit down and we're going to have to plan it out. We're going to have to put our pen to the paper, and we're going to have to plan it out. And so some of the best tips I've ever got about sitting down and planning it out is actually being honest, because sometimes we'll say like, no, I want to start this business so I can help other people, when maybe the true thing in your heart is that you want to start the business for money. Write that down. God already know it anyway, so it's no point of you hiding it. And so write that down. Let him know, hey, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. And this is how I see it playing out. Submit it to God. We know scripture tells us that if we submit our plans to him, he will make it go according to his purpose. He will help us. He will direct our path. And so the best thing you could do is sit down, be honest, write out a plan. Make a list of your ideas and how can you accomplish them. What do you have already on hand that can help you accomplish what you're trying to accomplish and the goals that you're trying to meet. And then prioritize it based on how soon you can do it and how prepared you are. Do you need to take additional classes? I know for me, one of my businesses is small business consulting and web design. Well, I'm not a web designer by degree. My degree is a master's in mental health counseling, social work. And so I didn't have a degree to back me to say I can do this. It was just a skill and a gift that God gave me that I wanted to start using to make another stream of income. And so what I did was, okay, I know how to do this and I'm gifted in it, but let me take it a step further. And I went to take some web design classes, some continual education web design classes, just to make me better, just to increase the skill that he had already gave me. And so I made a list of the things that I could go ahead and do when I started the business. And then I made sure, additionally, I added on to that and went to go see how prepared I was. What did I need to add on? And I took those classes. And amazingly, it didn't take that long and it was very inexpensive. I probably spent less than $150 on my web design classes. So I feel like if I didn't sit down and write that out and plan it, I wouldn't even have known, like, okay, maybe that's something I should do. I would have just been like, oh, I know how to do web design and just left it at that. But no, I don't want just a business that can sustain me for right now. I want one that can sustain me for longevity. So therefore, I added knowledge to me by going and take those additional classes when I was planning out my business. Another thing is, since we already have what we need, what can we do now? Because a lot of times, some businesses God will tell you to do right now. You'll plan it out, but it looked too heavy, so you'll put it down and say, like, okay, I'll do that in a year. Or, okay, I'll do that in 6 months. Or, okay, if you have kids, I'll do this when Junior is 18. Or, I'll do this X, Y, and Z. And it's just like, no. Everything you have is what you need to do, what God is calling you to do. So what do you have right now? And a lot of times you cannot assess that if you don't sit down and write out a plan. You don't know what you have. Writing out a plan, I feel like releases all the thoughts and ideas that you have in your brain. Putting them on paper helps you analyze them, helps you deeply think about them and realize, like, oh, okay, it's different when you see it on paper than when you're thinking about it in your mind. That's why it's so important to plan. The second P. Also, another part is what can you learn for the journey? Write that out in your plan. Like, what additional things do I need? I'm going to write down everything I do have, but then what else do I need? Because you may have the people surrounding you right now within your church or within your friend group or within your family that can help add on those additional things that you need. But if you don't write them down and plan them out, you won't know what you need. So, for example, I have a small business, consulting, web design business. I knew I had friends in marketing. I knew I had friends that did graphic design. So what I did was I contracted their services out so I can have them help me with the business, but it also helps them as well. But I wouldn't have even known that I needed that unless I sat down and planned. And I know people hear it all the time, the saying that if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And I feel like that's so true, because if you have no plan, where are you going? That's like a builder trying to build your house and they have no blueprint, no plan. They just like, yeah, we done 1,000 houses before, so we just gonna lay out some bricks and we just gonna see how it go. No ma'am, no sir. If somebody's building my house like that, I'm gonna need a refund real quick. The bank not gonna cash that check, okay? And so you have to have a plan. I'm gonna drill that into your head as much as I can. You need a plan. Even faith believers have plans. You must have a plan. Third P, prepare. So we done prayed. We feeling good. God done gave us our yes. We on to the next. We done planned it out. We feeling good. Our plans are solid. We done submitted them to the Lord. He's given us change makers in our life to help it happen. They're on a journey with us. We're full of faith. We're ready to hit the ground running. Now we have to prepare. Because just because you prayed and you have a great plan doesn't mean you're prepared for the journey where you're going. Now, some of that preparing is, again, you're going to be praying. to prepare. You're praying. You're praying for God to keep away the people that should not be in your life right now, that may be a hindrance or a distraction, or the things or the places that you may not need to be going right now because they may be a hindrance or a distraction. And then also, you're praying that every step of the way God gives you favor with the people you're going to encounter and work with. You know, a lot of times people laugh because I'm like, nah, I got favor. Like, let me call somebody else. And I will pray before I call them and just say, God, go ahead of me. You in your favor, go ahead of me. Soften these people's heart for what I need or what I'm about to ask them. And I feel like every time, and if not every time, he works it out another way. So it always ends up working out. But as a faith believer, as a Christian, as someone who believes in Jesus, you have the favor of God on you everywhere you go, which means you can ask for things. It means that you don't have to be afraid of someone giving you a no, because there's a yes somewhere with your name on it. You just got to find it. And so I want you to remember, you have favor. Put that down. If y'all taking notes, write down, I have favor. And this even with stuff like content creation, because I feel like a lot of people believe that it's oversaturated and it's too many people doing content creation. I don't want to look like everybody else. And some of that may be true, but at the end of the day, you're you. The favor of God is on specifically you to do what you're called to do, which means nothing can stop that. Nothing, no one, no oversaturation, no certain number that people are looking for and maybe you don't fit in that number. No. Every door that is supposed to be open for you from God will open because it's for you. You just have to be obedient. You just have to remember who you are, remember that favor you have, and you have to keep going. And so don't get in the mindset that it's too oversaturated, it's too many people doing it. Nothing is new under the sun, okay? Nothing is new under the sun, which means it doesn't matter what's for you. It's for you, and their door will open anyway. And so, remember, even in your preparing, what are you doing? You're praying. You're praying for God to open those doors, to give you favor everywhere you walk when you're going with these plans to these businesses or to these funding meetings or to whatever you need. Another thing is, who can you share your plans with to get additional wisdom? That's part of preparing. Who can I go to give me some wisdom on what I'm trying to do? Maybe you have a mentor in your life that already has done certain things that you're trying to go do. Reach out to them. Maybe you know someone at your church. Maybe you know someone at your old high school. Wherever you know someone that you may be able to get additional wisdom from, reach out to them. Because I will say, every step of the way, God has made sure to put people in my life that can lead me in business, and they're not jealous. They're not trying to one up me. They're not trying to charge me $1,000 just to have a conversation. These are people who were destiny assigned. Like, they were part of the assignment that God had on my destiny to run into me, to be able to help me on this journey. But the great thing is, all of us have those. All of us have those different people that we can go to. And so your job is just to ask God, who is that? Who is that in my circle? Who is that I need to reach out to, that maybe I see on social media a lot and I've always wanted to reach out and ask them a couple questions? Who is it? And then have the faith to go do it. Because as part of being prepared is having a team. Because I'm going to tell you right now, in the world of entrepreneurship, business, and all of this, it's not a such thing as you doing it on your own. You will run yourself ragged trying to do every single thing alone. There were things I did alone because I was willing to go on YouTube, watch a tutorial, and then be able to do it. But there are other things that I was like, I'm paying. Whoever can do it, and they can do it better than me, they can do it faster than me, I'm paying them. Because you're going to waste a lot of time trying to do everything on your own and not reaching out to the people. And then it'll be mediocre because you can't do everything. Don't let nobody lie to you. You can't do everything. And so go to the people who are experts in the things that you don't know how to do and get it done. Get it done. That's part of being prepared. Who can do the things that I can't do but I need done for my business? Write that down. That's part of being prepared. And then think about, how can you prepare financially? A lot of times we think it cost $1 million to start this grand business, have these great ideas. But to me, the currency is faith. We all know that the currency is faith. And faith may mean that I have to use some of my own money. I know for me, when I left the school district as a school counselor, I took some of my savings. And I was like, this is what's going to help me embark on this journey. I got my faith, but I also got these savings. And it was not nothing crazy. Like, it wasn't no $20,000 or nothing like that. Like, not at all. Not at all. Because I still had rent. I still had a lot of other things, to take care of. But it was just the fact that I was willing to invest as well. I wanted God to know I'm here. I'm a part of it. I'm listening to you. And I'm bringing my faith and my resources to connect with yours. And sometimes it's not even that God needs us, but he wants our participation. Because it's one thing for God to just come in and do it for you, but how much grander and how much just the feeling of you joining with God to create something like that's so much more beautiful than you just thinking that God will just come in and do it all for you. Now, I want to come in faith running, matching that energy God giving me, matching the resources and being like, okay, God, I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to be obedient, but I'm also going to bring some of my resources. So, prepare financially. Ask yourself, what can I give to this business financially? But also, what I can't give financially, what can I give in time? Because some things are going to cost time and effort and not money. So how much of your time and effort can you put towards something? Because if you cannot put your full effort and motivation towards things, it's usually best not to start them, because you'll end up stopping when you don't have enough motivation or when you don't have enough X, Y, and Z. You'll end up stopping. But when you go ahead and put that motivation and that effort in, those are seeds sown that you can't even see. Like, the harvest is going to look so much different than just, okay, I put in $50,000. The effort and that time is something so much different. The harvest that comes from it is just so much greater. And so you also want to ask yourself, my debt. How much debt am I willing? Because I'm going to be honest, I don't want to start a business with debt. But that's not always the case. Some people have to go get, small business loans. Some people have to get credit cards. Some people have to get angel investors that are investing, but you have to pay them back. So you won't always start a business without debt. But if it's possible, try to find grants. Try to find things that, you wouldn't even think of that could be an additional resource that doesn't cost you extra debt in your name. Because what would suck is you have $1 million business, but you have $1 billion debt. And so that's not what we want. So you want to prepare by looking at your finances, looking at your bank account, looking at your debt that you already have, and ask yourself, where can I cut back? Where can I add, additional resources? Maybe another stream of income. Some people may quit their job entirely, but other people may take the back seat and just take a part-time role. And so that way they still have some type of income while they're also pursuing entrepreneurship. But I also want to, for those out there who are completely leaving their job, because that's what I did, I also want to tell you to have faith, because I couldn't constantly worry about where the money was going to come from and also give my business full effort and attention. You're going to have to choose one. And so if you give all your attention to where my next check coming from, you're missing the journey of building this business. And that may be, you may be saying, girl, I got rent, or girl, I got to pay my phone bill, or I got a car note. And I hear what you're saying, but that's where faith come in. And faith isn't just a word, it's a real thing. It's a real step of obedience. It's a real choice that you have to make, that God said he'll supply all my needs. Not only that, his word says he's my shepherd and I shall not want. He make me lie in green pastures. Green pastures are healthy. They're growing. You know what I'm saying? And so you want to make sure you don't just have faith to say yes without putting in the work. And part of that work is trusting him for your finances, even when you leave your job and you cannot see the next dollar coming in. Everybody, that is not for. But for those who choose to have the faith, you can do it. And he will see you and meet you at every deadline, at every cutoff notice, whatever it is going on, God will meet you there. You just got to have the faith. That's why I always say the currency needed is faith. It says, be it unto you. According to your faith, be it unto you. Which means, according to how much you got, is how much you can get. You got enough faith to believe that you can be an entrepreneur and build $1 million business off of $0? Be it unto you. You have enough faith that you can do a 9 to 5 and keep the balance in your life while also starting business? Be it unto you. Either way that you choose to do it, God says, according to your faith, be it unto you. And so I want to encourage you to have the great faith. So whatever it is unto you that you want, you're going to get it. It is so important to remember that it's according to your faith, not the faith of your friends, not the faith of other people. It's your faith. And how to build your faith is having those great people around you that will champion you on and tell you you can do this. Having those people around you that will pray. Having those people that will sow into your business. I had a friend recently, something so small to other people, but for me, it meant so much because I will say I'm not the person that will pick up the phone and always ask for help. I usually try to figure it out all on my own first. And then I'll figure out, okay, maybe I need to call somebody, which I've learned in business, get help. Don't do that. But her and her husband wanted to sow into my business because I helped him with a few things. And at first I didn't need anything, but then a need came up for me to fix some of my technology so I can get the podcast running and just everything going smooth. And I went back and said, hey, I actually do need something. And I mean, within 24 hours, they gave it to me. And it was like nothing, like sweat out there, like nothing, no sweat on their back. You know what I'm saying? It made me realize those are the type of people you need around you that want to sow into what you're doing. They want to, even if they can't sow money, they can sow advice, resources like their time, or just giving you an encouraging text message because they know right now business may be a little hard, with COVID going on and everything. But also remember that COVID doesn't dictate how successful your business can be. Just wanted to put that out there. That don't dictate nothing. Your faith in God, that dictates how successful your business will be. And so, anyway, they sold into me, and it just made me realize that your faith grows by having other people around you that pour into you and that also have faith. And so I want you to keep that in mind as you're going through this journey. And so 3 P's of starting this shift that you are about to embark on. You're about to become an entrepreneur. You're about to make that new career move in your business that you already have. Or you're about to take social media by storm and become this amazing content creator, YouTuber, whatever you want to do. Remember, you need to pray. You need to plan. Get that pen to that paper and plan and sit down and do what you're supposed to do. And then 3, you're going to prepare. And when I tell you, I have seen the harvest from doing those 3 things just like I told y'all. I mean, I can't even explain the harvest. If you listen back to the other videos, God has literally laid out the path because I've been able to submit everything, all my desires and everything I want to do to Him. To the point that I am this is my 2nd year, going on 3rd year entrepreneur. I've already been able to secure grants. I've already been able to grow my clients. I've also been able to buy a Mercedes-Benz. And that's not even I'm not even trying to push the material things, but I'm just saying that was just a want. That wasn't even something I needed. I had a car that was paid off, a Toyota. It was a 2013, but it was still riding, y'all. It was still riding, right? And so it wasn't a need, but it was a desire. It was a car that I had on my vision board, I want to say, for the past 3 years. And in the midst of a pandemic, in the midst of being an entrepreneur, in the midst of being the first one in my family to actually be an entrepreneur and to go on this journey, God said, I'm also giving you your wants. I'm going to give you your desires. And so I just want to encourage you. It's the top of the year. Anything can happen if you faith it till you make it. So keep that in mind. I want y'all to be praying, planning, and preparing this year, because your business, your venture, everything that you are hoping shifts in your life this year is about to take place. And so I am so excited to hear the testimonies. I'm excited to see what everybody comes up with. I'm excited to support. So if any way I can help your business, make sure you send me an email. You can find my email in the description. Pretty sure it's in the podcast description on Spotify, Apple, Pandora. So make sure you check out the description and you can shoot me an email, or if you find me on Instagram at @ClarissaChristine, you can also DM me. I can help you any way possible. But I just want you to know that the shift is here, and according to your faith, be it unto you, you got this. You can do it. All the dreams you have in your head, they're not too far-fetched. If you can think it up, it's possible. If you can think it up, it's possible. So, y'all have an amazing rest of the week. Make sure you shoot me a DM or email if I can help in any way, and I will see y'all next week.